Okay, here we go. You guys, since I did this training yesterday, I've now listened to it 3 times because I'm so excited. And y'all, I typed up notes. That's how good this
Wow.
So get ready. And if you miss things, I can just forward you this document. Okay, so don't worry about writing so much. Focus on listening and engaging because I am happy to send you this document where the third time I listened to the training, I would pause and type, pause and type. Okay, so let's not stress on taking notes because this actually is a good call to take notes. Let me start with asking you in what you say when somebody asks you, what is plexus? Who wants to go first? Don't be shy. You guys have to have an answer. Y'all, except for Marie that's on here, have done this for like as long as me. When somebody asks you, what is plexus? What do you say? Okay, Angie, you go first. You're muted. Okay.
I usually stumble out something about it's a plant-based line of supplements, health supplements. Sometimes I'll add on that it focuses on blood sugar, inflammation, and gut health.
Okay. All right, who wants to go next?
I will probably, I think what goes through my mind is probably what it's done for me and how it has helped me, and that there's no chemicals and no sugar.
Okay. All right. I don't think Marie she's brand new, so she hasn't really told anybody about plexus, so we won't call on her, which leaves you. Okay, let's go.
I usually say it's a health and happiness company and kind of go from there. I try to think of the 3 W's, the health. I always get them mixed up. Our 3 W's, our elevator speech.
Well, what is your elevator speech?
The health and happiness company, because I'll say what's plexus, and then I'll start out with that, and then just that it's good for it's hard to think sometimes, and this is why I don't do lives.
Well, okay, so here's what I want to normalize. I want to normalize that all 3 of you stumbled and had no idea really comfortably with what to say. Is that fair?
That's fair.
So that's the thing, is it's like when you believe in something so much, you should just have an answer, right? I mean, that builds trust and it allows people to know you know what you're talking about. You're not just, some willy-nilly, like, and it lets me know that when somebody asks you, like if you have a plexus shirt on, like I wear plexus swag all the time. And so all the time people will say, well, what's plexus? And if you just don't have this, you've lost them, right? Like people aren't there for like a 5-minute, like, well, you think about what plexus is, and they probably don't want to know yet what it's done for you. They really just have no idea what the word plexus means. As simple as that. Like sometimes you're talking to people or you're making a post and you say plexus and people will message you or write in the comments, what is plexus? And I get that a lot where people reach out to me and go, okay, somebody just says, what is plexus? What am I supposed to tell them? So I know that this is a thing. My answer prior to yesterday usually is along the lines of, we're a health and happiness company that will allow you to feel amazing so that you can be more successful in all of the things that you do. That's kind of my thing. But turns out, here is one word. Before I tell you exactly what to say, let's talk about the why behind it. And let's talk about, can you guys guess what word Genevieve said to never ever use when you're explaining plexus? Anybody have a guess? You're about to have your mind blown. Supplements. Supplements. Okay, you want to know why? Do you know why, Angie?
Because it immediately sounds salesy.
No, but I don't disagree with you. But she said the people that take supplements already take supplements and see no reason to change. The people that don't take supplements, you're going to have a hard time convincing them why they should now start taking supplements. And that's where I think it falls into you, like the salesy thing. You have to get salesy to get somebody to buy something they don't need. They don't think they need, right? We know everybody needs gut health, but if they use, like I have somebody who is a dream team member of mine, and I sent her the info, and she's like, these look so much like the ones I take, so there's real no reason for me to switch. And I'm like, please just join my team. But she falls into that category. She takes a probiotic, she takes an omega, she sees zero reason to change. And then there's the people who don't take them at all, who are like, I'm good. They don't realize, we know like, hey, what you think is normal is not actually normal. But they don't know that yet. And now you have to sell to them. So eliminating the word supplements, and she describes it as like a leak in your boat. So if you had a boat and you're putting all your prospects into it, if it's not filling up and overflowing, you probably have a leak in your boat. So in your sales funnel, if you're putting people in, but you're talking about supplements and things like that, they're going just right out. As simple as that, right? No overthinking it, just as simple as that. So we want to give someone an answer that allows them to see themselves in the story as our future customer. And that I really, really love, because really at the end of the day, sales is all about the transference of inspiration and confidence. We want to, in our conversation with people, be able to inspire them. Really, and this goes, Gina, along with what you were saying, we want to inspire them and allow them to see themselves having similar successes to what we've had, or similar successes to what other people have had. That's the sales processes. So by the time they're ordering, they already have some sort of belief given to them from us that they're going to have success by taking the product. So here is a super simple answer. You guys ready for this? When somebody asks you, what is Plexus? And I'll send you this. But listen, I could bore you with all of the science and the details, but do you mind if I ask you a question? What are one or two things that frustrate you the most about your health? That's all. Because now, and so she said, a lot of people were like, well, I don't want to sound like a robot. Like if everybody's saying that, you only sound like a robot for 2 sentences, because as soon as somebody answers, you are now in conversation mode, which it could not be more opposite of being a robot, right? So I could bore you with all the science and details, but do you mind if I ask you a question? What are one or two things that frustrate you the most about your health? And so what you're doing is you're asking them to tell you about themselves, you're connecting, and you're listening with a heart of understanding, right? You guys are all really great at that, but maybe not asking the correct question. We, I think, have been using what is Plexus as an opportunity to be like, oh, let me tell you all about Plexus so that they buy it, right? But instead, kind of slowing our roll and immediately asking them a question. Aren't most people bored with the science or details? When Dr. Hartman is on stage at convention is when I go to the bathroom. Y'all, I don't care. I don't care. I'm so glad somebody smart is going to give me a recap. I'm never going to be able to regurgitate the things that our medical team shares. I'm not. But you could see my live video today about how good sleep has helped me come off trazodone. I don't know. The only ingredient I can remember is melatonin and then L-tryptophan, because if you watched my live that day of convention where Rob kept saying L-tryptophan, like, you mean like the Mexican turkey? And we're all laughing, right? And we're all hysterical. That's the only reason I remember that it has L hyphen tryptophan in it, because Rob kept saying, are we talking about Mexican turkeys? I don't know. He's funny. I don't know. I don't know the science. I don't want to know the science. I think most people are like me in that. So we are giving them an out right away. Like, I'm not going to bore you. Like, you're probably going to go run it. Let me ask you what two things bother you. And here's the thing. There's a psychological benefit to them when they hear themselves talking about their problems. Instead of us telling them all the things Plexus could help them with, they are telling us all the problems they need help with. How genius is that? Before we've even told them anything. And so what do you say after they give you their two things or more? Sometimes people just keep going about all the problems that they have, right? First thing you're going to do is empathize or sympathize. You're either saying, I know, same, I have the same issues, or I know, I have seen so many people that have had that exact same issue. Like, and what you're doing when you say that is you're letting them know, like, the problem is not their fault. Sometimes the problem is their fault, right? Like, sometimes the problem might be their fault, but a lot of it might not be, right? So same, and you're kind of releasing them, and then you're going to ask them, show me how that shows up in your life. I know how it shows up in my life, but how does it show up in yours? Or how's that a problem in your life? Because now they're really making it a problem, and it is coming. Even if, have you ever had an experience like with one of your friends, like you wake up kind of tired, whatever, and then you chat with a friend, and then you're telling them how tired you are, and then you're telling them why you're so tired, like whether you stayed up too late or there was a storm or the dogs, like, and the more people you tell about how tired you are, the more like, just like it becomes a much bigger deal, as opposed to like, nobody cares that I'm tired, I woke up, I carry on with my day. When people dig in and listen, it suddenly becomes a bigger issue. Like, that's the same with anything, right? It's like mindset. Whatever you focus on expands. So as they're telling you their problem, guess what? It's expanding. It's expanding in their mind. So next step, is this something that you'd be open to doing something about? That's all. Not a, boy, do I have a solution for you. You need to start triplex right now, which we all could have said, like, before we asked any questions. We know that, but they need to know it. And so is this something that you'd be open into doing something about? And if they say yes, we're good. If they say no, it's not time to pitch them anything. It's not time to convince them that they need anything. It's just time to chat more. This process, I'm giving it to you in a few minutes. It could take like a month, right? We all have people that like ask us a question and then like don't respond to us for 3 weeks or 5 years. We have those people, right? It can be a long process if you're not talking to somebody in person. So take your time. Do not pitch the people who are not ready. We're just still asking questions. We're still getting curious. We're still loving on them. But if somebody says yes, we're going to say something along the lines of, great, based on what you told me, let me see, I'm going to put my readers back on because you guys know I typed it all up. Based on what you told me, I'd like to recommend a system for you to get started with. It would get at the root cause of your problems from a scientific basis, and it 100% would help you drive towards long-term success rather than a Band-Aid for your symptoms. We could start with something as simple as a great tasting drink that you have every day. Can I tell you more? Because you remember we've talked a couple weeks ago about like not forcing a welcome pack on everybody, even though it would help us earn leaders retreat. You know, one of the girls that was on my girls trip last week, never ordered before, the most affluent of anybody. I, of course, had I brought everything for anybody just to drink whenever. And she ordered for her very first order, a bag of Active and a bag of Hydrate. Of all the things she tried that weekend, she liked those the best. Is it going to help get me on the boat? No. Is it going to get her on board with Plexus and slowly allow me to do more with her? 1 gazillion%. So I could have tried to pitch her on more things, knowing she literally lives in the same neighborhood as the majority of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. She hangs with them. Her daughter went to, like, those are her people. She could buy the biggest welcome pack and not blink. And she said, I just think I really like that hydrate thing and that energy thing. And I said, perfect. Let's get you that pack. I get nothing for that, except for somebody who is happy because she ordered what she wanted. And now she's going to start to learn more. Right? Do I want to get on the boat? Am I super close? Yes. Did she only want hydrate and active? Yep. Okay. So that's where Genevieve says it could start with something as simple as a great tasting drink that you have each day. We're not, you know, if they want to learn more, we're going to, my thing with that always is we could start with this. Usually slim, to me, if they want slim, is an easy transition into a welcome pack because it's what, like $15 more? Like if we let them buy slim retail, like it's $15 more to get 2 free products. So that to me is an easy transition. Somebody just wants active, it's not an easy transition. Just let them get the active and love it. But I'll usually share, hey, we could just start with this and it's going to help with blah, 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 based on what they're having problems with. Or we could speed up the process by adding these other couple things, and it's only going to be $15 more. And it's going to help with these other things they mentioned. And then they're good. You've probably sold a welcome pack. Right? So here's the thing. Why is it so important that you teach every single person on your team how to answer what is Plexus this way? Because when you just have a couple people joining your team, it's real easy to sit down with them and help them craft an answer that fits their personality. Am I right? What happens when your team is so big that you've got 1,000 people joining a month? You're a sapphire, you're a diamond, you got 1,000 people joining a month. There is no time for custom answers. You have to have something that's 100% duplicatable and also works. And that's what this does. It doesn't give people time to like, well, let me change this and change that. Just be like, nope, this is how our team answers. What is Plexus? And it's simple, right? We're actually telling people what is Plexus by asking them about 2 things in their health that bothers them. We're starting the conversation and giving something to lead into. So the key, of course, is to have as many of these conversations as we can a day. This could be with your reach outs, shifting it to something along the lines of, you know, going back to that old school. How long ago were we taught like, hey, I don't know if you saw my post, but, right? This isn't something Genevieve taught. I'm just trying to help you, like, how can we start more conversations? And for me, it might look something like, hey, I don't know if you've seen me posting about like Plexus for the last 8 years, but have you ever wondered like, what Plexus is? Because a lot of people are not going to come out and ask. If you're wearing a shirt, if you're somewhere in person, or you make a great post, people are going to ask. But don't we all have a ton of people that we know have seen our posts that we haven't talked to? You know, or so maybe just reaching out and saying, hey, have you ever wondered what Plexus is? This thing I've been doing for so long, or, you know, just something in your own words that will allow you to then say, I could bore you with all the science and details, but I'm not, right? You're like tricking them into asking you the question. So let's see. Let's see. That's all. Okay. I wanted to make sure I shared all the things with you that she shared. I also wanted to give you thoughts because we're all still working to earn leaders retreat. Don't give up. You know, they always pull out cool tricks the last month. You know, they do. They always do. Sorry, they're picking up my trash can for a different trash service. So I wanted to give you some thoughts on how to reach out to people, how to start those conversations, get as many conversations going as you can. What questions do you guys have? Or thoughts, or how does this feel?
I think it feels perfect because when you asked me, when you put me on the spot and said, how do I respond to what is Plexus? I was thinking, I do sometimes flip it and was wishing I had a nice, neat way to make that happen about flipping it. But that's often when somebody does inquire about what is Plexus, I have asked them, what is, what are your top 3 health concerns?
Mhm.
Or what, even if they say, yeah, I want to get started, I'll say, that's great. Tell me what your top 3 health concerns are so that then I know how to direct them. So I really, really like this approach.
Yeah, and I do the same thing and I try to teach the same thing because we know that if somebody just comes to us and says, I want weight loss, they might then say, well, $140 is kind of steep. And so we've learned if they tell us more of the issues they're having, we can let them know, hey, it's going to help with this, and this. And then we add value. And then the $140 is not a thing. $140 seems a lot, like to help with migraines. $140 is not a lot to help with energy, sleep, migraines, stomach. We know that. And so you're 100% right. I think all of you know, once you're down the road, once people get engaged, how to ask the questions to suggest the best welcome pack and let them know they're getting the best value. But this is right off the top before they even think they're interested.
Mhm.
Any other thoughts?
I just like it because it's a really good way just to get in.
Mhm.
You really, asking a question is imperative in whatever you do, and they're always telling us to end it with a question.
Mhm.
So I think starting it's kind of like, it gets juices going, if they really want to know. And we're all interested in what we think. And so that just gives them something, wow, she likes what I think already.
Well, and people love to hear themselves talk. And it's easier for us to ask questions when people have already given us information,
Mhm.
right? And they're going to the sooner we ask questions, the sooner we're going to get information. And like Angie said, this is right off the bat, our first thing is to ask questions.
Mhm.
Here's the thing. Okay, is this helpful?
Mhm.
Oh, yes. I
Okay.
like this approach.
Perfect. So what I have is I'm going to put a post in Goal Diggers that literally lays out the steps. Here's your question. Here's what, the 2 questions, and then same, and then those things, because then you save them and have them. If somebody new joins you, then you're obviously going to say, hey, if they're in any way interested in whether it's earning the prize for that month or making money or whatever, the most critical thing for them to be able to do is know how to answer what is Plexus. So you literally, I would suggest saving this to your notes and then sending it to your new people. Hey, when anybody asks you what Plexus is, here's what you're going to do. Take the guesswork out. Remember, our new people are like babies learning to walk. They're going to fall down a lot. They need hand holding. It's wonderful. We love it. We have been doing this for so long because we love people so much. And we want them to succeed, whether it's in their health or their business. It's our passion. We love it. We don't give up even if we haven't hit certain goals, right? You guys are on here week after week. We are digging in, but this is a formula. This is the most important thing. If anybody joins your team, is for them to be able to answer what is Plexus. Because you get the most of those questions when you're brand new, right? Like none of us are brand new except Marie, but when you make a post, when your new person makes a post, they're going to get a bunch of what is Plexus. They're going to get text messages, what is Plexus? And you now have 5 steps to send to them. And the bottom step of it says, ask your sponsor to help you go forward, right? Because they're going to get some information. And then if they don't know enough about our products or our welcome packs or whatever, they're going to get stuck. And that's 100% okay, because we get stuck, you know, everybody gets stuck. When we were brand new, we for sure got stuck all the time. But being able to answer this crucial question, I think, is a game changer. And you know what, we've got to combine how many decades of selling Plexus just on this call right here, and everybody stumbled with what is Plexus. So I love that none of you are going to stumble anymore.
Thank you.
And you can share, you know, wherever. I will post that. So if you want to post it, we all have different uplines and whatever. If you want to share it wherever, there is no, you do whatever you want with it, however you think it'll help the people you care about. Okay?
Okay, I have a question.
What you got?
I got on late, so who was the training that you got this from?
Genevieve.
Oh, okay. Was this on your Diamond Sprint or?
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're in a new quarter. Every quarter you have to reapply
Mhm.
and get admitted again. And so
Okay.
every quarter, that sometimes there's people that have never been in it before. So she always starts each quarter kind of back to basics. But the interesting thing is it's always kind of different. Like this is now my 5th quarter
Mhm.
of being in the Diamond Sprint trainings, of once a week trainings. But so it's never that you think it'd be the same thing and I would stop applying. It's not. And for me, it keeps me motivated to just kind of, even if I just learn one new little thing each time,
Mhm.
or sometimes nothing new, it keeps me engaged, which hopefully is for you guys too. Like jumping on here, like maybe you didn't learn anything, but you're re-engaged and now your brain is like, okay, Plexus, let me go work a little bit. Let me not give up. Right.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's what it is. So it's a new quarter. So she always kind of starts with basics, because there are people who have never been in the training before. But I just love this because again, this is my 5th quarter and I don't recall this training ever.
I'd love to have a copy of that if you don't mind.
100%. 100%. I'm going to put in Gold Diggers the outline, but then if each of you, I'm about to run Mello to get groomed. But if you want my whole Word document, just shoot me a DM and I will send it right over to you.
Okay.
Okay. All right, you guys, do not give up on getting on the boat. You hear me? Don't give up. Don't give up. I want to see you there. Bye, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.